Just because you want a small, practical, and efficient small crossover doesn't mean you can't do it in style. And in that regard, Kia has took their regular Kia Stonic and transformed it into this Kia Stonic Style Edition. Primarily based on the mid-trim Kia Stonic LX, the Kia Stonic Style Edition gives you a couple more design elements. Down below, you do have this rather eccentric front skirt with those red triangles on it, the tiger nose grille, as well as the new Kia logo. For your lights, you only get halogens on this one, but at least you do get fog lights. On the side, you get blacked out 16-inch rims, 185 millimeters of ground clearance, and also a roof rail up top. Plus, you also get these side skirts that kind of look like step boards. I also love how the car is very much proportionate. It doesn't look too bloated from the side, and it just looks pretty much perfect for a car of this class. Towards the rear of the Kia Stonic Style Edition, and what Kia gives you here is a style badge, a Kia Stonic Style badge, the new Kia logo as well, a third brake light, as well as a blacked out shark's fin antenna up top. As for the things down below, you do also get a rear skirt over there as well as reflectors. Open up your tailgate right here, and not only do you get a parcel shelf, and not only do you get a space saver spare tire, but you are looking at 325 liters of space. Expandable also if you do fold down the rear seat 60/40. My only gripe about this is that the load lip is rather high. But since the car isn't that tall and high in the first place, loading items in here wouldn't be a chore. Apparently, the Kia Stonic Style Edition is a very familiar engine if you're coming from other Kia models. This one right here is the same engine they used in the Soluto. This one being the 1.4-liter inline-4 gasoline engine, making 100 horsepower and 132 newton-meters of torque, mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. As for fuel economy, you can do around 8 kilometers per liter in heavy city traffic, which is pretty good. And also, when you do go up over to the highway, you can push it up all the way to around 18 kilometers per liter. Climb into the cabin of the Kia Stonic Style Edition, and first we check the door. It sounds very much on the durable side, as well as the rest of the interior with a lot of hard touch plastics, but that is proper fine because for this segment, that is pretty much what we do expect. Inside this cabin though, I guess the main feature of this one would be this 8-inch touchscreen towards the center, because not only is it very easy to use and responsive, but it even comes with a reverse camera, although not the clearest, and this also comes with wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is rather rare in this class. The rest of the interior is rather basic. You have a steering wheel that is not leather wrapped, but you do have buttons on it to control your audio, and you have a very basic instrument cluster with a 3.5-inch TFT display over there. This is just a basic AC unit, but very easy to use with those knobs. One USB port, one 12-volt outlet, a regular shifter, and these seats, which they are covered in fabric, but they are rather comfortable because the bolsters are also just sufficient, so no matter if you're small or big, these seats will be perfect for you. The only gripe I have about the seats though is that they don't raise up. So I do find that visibility could be sometimes hampered, especially if you're on the shorter side, but for the rest of the people out there, this one is more than enough. Here at the back, check the door first, and it sounds a little bit better than the front. What I like about the Kia Stonic Style Edition is that here at the back, although it is rather basic, I mean, you don't even get map pockets, you don't even get your own armrest, you do still get these integrated headrests, and headroom is pretty good, as well as legroom. And one more thing though, this window right here, it goes all the way down, which is perfect for kids. Now, since the car isn't exactly the widest, seating 3 people back here, while it is doable, it's not the best for longer journeys because the center seat is rather small. However, for 4 people in this car, I mean, this back seat, it is more than enough. Now we drive the Kia Stonic Style Edition, and this car is rather surprising because it looks very basic inside the interior, but once you do get behind the wheel, it feels rather sporty. First of all, the seats. You can't adjust it up and down by height, so it is rather low, which for people looking for a more commanding driving presence kind of thing, commanding driving position, one of that of SUVs, then they might not like it. But those looking for the sportier drives, this is perfect. It gives you that feeling of a sports car kind of vibe, that low center of gravity kind of vibe. And another thing about this car that is quite surprising is the way it steers. The steering, while it is rather vague, when you do want the car to change lanes fast and all that, it is rather sharp, and body roll is surprisingly subdued. But just because this car is pretty sharp at turning doesn't mean that it's not comfortable, because the suspension is still magically soft enough for your everyday trips. It really doesn't feel like a crossover. It feels more like a sedan, a more comfort-oriented sedan. Now for the power in this car, 100 horsepower doesn't really sound like much, and yeah, we gotta admit, it's not exactly the peppiest out there. However, if you do give it some gas, you're gonna have some sort of a delay, somewhat of a turbo delay, despite this car being a naturally aspirated engine. The once you get up to around 3,000 RPM or so, you get this like slight kick that really makes a car feel not underpowered at all. It truly is just that initial throttle response that could be improved a little bit. As for the transmissions though, it does a rather good job of selecting the gears for you, so I have no qualms when it comes to the transmission. At 5'6", I really do feel like the seats could be heightened up a little bit more, but since the dashboard is rather low as well, I wouldn't say it impedes too much on the visibility, but yeah, just slightly. However, all around you, including the back and the sides, visibility is excellent. And of course, you also have that backup camera, so parking this car despite not having any sensors is not a problem at all. As for noise, surprisingly, this car is also probably one of the best in its class, because it is rather quiet even at speed. If you go up over to the highway and you're doing around the speed limit, you wouldn't get as much road noise and also wind noise as other cars in its class, although there is still some hints of it. For vibrations, when you are idling, there is just a tad bit of vibrations coming from the 1.4-liter engine, but aside from that, it is rather good. And as for harshness, we've already talked about it earlier. The suspension is also pretty good in this car. The Kia Stonic Style Edition, therefore, is a car that is, well, rather bare bones, actually surprises you when it comes to comfort, efficiency, as well as looks. Oh, and also, did I mention some of its features, which do include 6 speakers in the car and also dual front airbags. At 895,000 pesos, it's only around 15,000 more than your conventional mid-trim Kia Stonic. And with a warranty of 5 years or 160,000 kilometers, it truly is one outstanding deal for anyone looking for the comforts of a sedan, but also the great practicality and styling, plus ground clearance of a small SUV.